Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Greetings guys, greetings. Let me just take this off. Sunday afternoon again. Just run some errands, urgent errands that is. Not really too sure what I'm going to talk about on this drive home. What I probably will say is I am dropping the video very shortly with regards to Food Hub project. London Community Kitchens Food Hub project. I'll be dropping the video very shortly. That is one sort of hell of an editorial task. That is a video that does attract a lot of views, you know, a couple of hundred, 120 maybe, I don't know, and it's important. You know, I don't really care how many people watch my videos. I do them because it's a fun little thing to do. It's a fun little escapade to get involved in. So yeah, definitely, but that is a video that I really want to do, man. You know, I always say that, you know, and you know, I've got a lot of stuff. I've got 3 cars, I've got a house that I live in. You know, my kids all go to sleep in a bed of their own. Hello, it's interesting. My kids all go to sleep. There's a guy trying to get through a really tight gap. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. They go to sleep in a bed of their own, you know, grateful and thankful. Don't always think about wanting the next best thing. I could, if I wanted to, buy a really expensive road bike, save up £3,000, you know, buy a really expensive carbon, you know, 4,000, 5,000. The sky's the limit. Sky's the limit. But no, you know, for what purpose? For what purpose? You know, and working at a food hub or a food bank, it really you appreciate, like, look at those below you. Make sure that you don't end up, you know, like them. You have to do everything that you can, you know, within your powers. And it's such a humbling experience. It's such a positive, productive and humbling experience. There's no other way I can put it. There is no other way I can put it. And it's so important to get the youth involved. You know, they can see, like, hey, life moves on from a PS5. This is a reality. People, like, what are we giving them? You'll see in the video that, you know, we handed out dal, largely a vegetarian, very fruits, vegetables, carrots, dal, bread. You know, London Community Kitchens, man, amazing organisation, amazing setup, and we're just sort of like so honoured to be part. I know the real Wembley Muslim community is so honoured to be part of that operation, and we got more and more volunteers coming through week on week, and yeah, we want to be part of it. It's our local community. We want to be part. We want to serve people, regardless of background or faith or religion or race or creed or whatnot. It's so important, and I know this video is turning into a bit of a, I don't want to start sort of sermonizing you guys, you know, with regards to this video about, you know, the pros and cons and morals and so on and so forth, but really and truly we get so few opportunities. We're just caught up in materialism. I mean, I've got to be honest with you, yeah, and this may sound hypocritical of me, but I've got a list of items that I want to get. I want to get a new turbo trainer. I want to get a proper Canberra. I want to get another thing that's going to cost about £200. I've got a shopping list of about a couple of £1,000 of things I want to get, but there's no rush. I won't make those sort of purchases until I have the money. I'm not going to go into the red credit card debts and whatnot and stupidity like that. And if I don't end up getting them when I want them, then so be it. So be it. You know, so be it. But looking at this situation of where you're, you know, and we will get the numbers very, very shortly, where we're feeding families of, 700 to 800 people, you know, 2,000 or 3,000 food parcels given out. It's really, really important. It's really important. You know, yes, you can have those nice things that you want. You can have, things if you work hard. There's nothing wrong with rewarding yourself. You shouldn't feel bad about it. But remember that there are people who don't have these things. You know, the food banks are a reality. 14 million people living in poverty, 4.5 million children. 1,200 food banks across the country. Within a 5-mile radius of my postcode, I have 11 food banks. Trussell food bank being Trussell Trust being one of the largest. People have opened up their homes in Hampstead Heath, their garage. There was a story in the Guardian newspaper as a food bank. It's a really, really important initiative to get into, guys. A food bank. The government, unfortunately, I don't know how much that's kind of cool that I don't get disturbed doing these sort of videos. When I read up, I couldn't quite understand why companies, who operate 0-hour contracts, who have monopolized this gig economy, Burger King, McDonald's, they have no obligation to provide you guaranteed hours of work. Amazon, for example, Subway, many companies, and what was strange is that when I read a paragraph which stated that these companies don't have an obligation to pay furlough to their workers, and the scheme has to be initiated by the employer. I run my own company, okay? I'm an employee of a Chief School of Motoring. I got furloughed. So not am I only the director of my company, I'm also an employee of my company. And it was my younger brother's hindsight. He goes, would you want to go up as a self-employed person, like a gig economy worker type setup, or do you want to be set up as a limited company? I go, look, you're the accountant. And he goes, we're going to set you up as a limited company. You got the choices, but he goes, it's slightly better being set up as a limited company. I'm not going to go into the intricacies of it now. Little did I know that 2 or 3 years down the line, that COVID would come along and people who had their own limited small companies would be paid. And thankfully, being set up as a company has allowed me to pay my bills, council tax, so on and so forth. But then again, I really can't wait to get back to work. You get your basic pay, you don't get overtime, which is really, really crazy. But obviously the government, it's a generous scheme. There's no taking that away from the government. And I remember the massive hoo-ha. What would happen to people? But I remember a lot of these people who are queued up, going back, again, slightly sort of deviating here. These people, like they gig 0-hour contract gig economy workers. The people that we were, and the most heartbreaking thing was, and this is another thing I'm going to impress. One of my students I teach was in the line. I recognise him. I go, who is this guy? He's nodding his head at me. He's gesticulating with a nod. I go, I know you, because he had a face mask on, and he was one of my students. For paying, got 3-4 months prior to that, for doing driving lessons for this individual, to being his driving instructor, and he's paying me money for lessons, through to basically he was a 0-hour contract worker in a hotel. So, you know, through to me encountering him in a queue for a food bank, you know, that hurt. Wow, man, that really just, wow. You know, I love the guy to bits. He's such a lovely character to get on with, you know, such a lovely character to get on with. Yeah, I am going to contact him up. I've sent him a message out yesterday. I sent him a message out, how are things? I saw you yesterday, and you know, it is what it is. It was upsetting. I nodded back. It wasn't. And then I saw a few. Yeah. I saw other people that I knew. It's a local community. You'd be surprised the amount of people that are driven. You know, shame is out the window. By that time, shame is gone out the window. It's you know, my younger son saw people that, Dad, we know these guys. I go, yeah, I know. I had to explain to him, I know. Like, realize the act of accepting something from a charity is a private act. It's a private act. Thankfully, the face masks have allowed people to retain that dignity, so they can't be identified. They're nameless to us. It's a private act, and neither should they, you know, be called out on this matter. You know, and that's why I don't necessarily agree with live feeds such as Facebook, you know, YouTube live streaming, because there have been people that have come out. Who are these people? You know, I bet their fridge is full. They're coming here for a weekly fill up of their fridge. Maybe. How do you know? What does it take for a family? What does it take for a family of, you know, what does it take for someone with their 1-year-old child in a pram? It's cold, man. It's like 5 degrees. Open your damn fridge. Open your fridge and you'll see how cold it is. Your fridge operates at 6 degrees. It was 7 degrees. You got your kids with you. There were kids in the queue. 9, 8, 12, 11. You know, there were kids in the queue. And watching my son operate yesterday was so beautiful. Wow. It was just like, you know, it warmed my heart, it melted my heart, honestly, really. What a prince he is, man. What a prince my son is, honestly. Big up to you, Abhiyan. Big up to you. And exactly these types of experiences that build character. It doesn't have to be the fact that, you know, anything really builds character, any type of experience, but this is a real, sort of like being thrown at the deep end that, look, this can happen to human beings. Don't think that it's, you know, a land of milk and honey and unicorns and rainbows. No. It doesn't work like that. But this video is just about, you know, my thoughts on, you know, yesterday on the food hub. Try to avoid using the term food bank. It does carry a stigma with it, which I can't totally explain. But food bank sounds more harsh. It sounds more like a prison, I suppose. How one would describe a prison. It has that connotation to it, I think, that meaning. So yeah, food hub sounds more holistic, more caring, you know, more encompassing, more, what's the word? Inclusive. So guys, please, I'm gonna again leave the Facebook link for London Community Kitchens. You know, and yeah, always set your objectives and goals and targets in life by looking at the people below you and being grateful for what you have. Trust me, I was one of those guys, oh, I need this, I need that, I need this, I need that. And no, not really. You can get by. You need your health is wealth, and you know, putting food on the table for the family is wealth. And wow, this is surreal. This is surreal what we've lived through. Absolutely surreal. Anyway, listen guys, over and out. I'm not gonna, you know, this is gonna be a set. It's 15 minutes already.